I'm sure none of it is hugely surprising, but what have you found?
None of it hugely surprising, Mark. And as you said, we were hearing from Mitch McConnell already imposing threats. Via Twitter, he says the new soon-to-be majority leader of President Obama acts in defiance of the people and imposes his will on the country. Congress will act. He doesn't spell out exactly what that will be. We also have Rand Paul, of course, a potential 2016 presidential candidate. I will not sit idly by and let the president bypass Congress and our Constitution. Again, Mark, nobody's spelling out specifically what's going to happen here in terms of retaliation. But perhaps the comment I heard today as I sampled lawmakers earlier that struck me the most came from Susan Collins, moderate Republican, supporter of the immigration bill. She told me in an interview earlier today the president's action actually sets back the cause of comprehensive immigration because it infuriates people like me who've been supporters of the bill. It's an egregious overreach of his authority. I don't think it takes, we don't see Susan Collins infuriated very often. She's infuriated by this, Mark, and I think she and a lot of other Republicans think that the president has misjudged the public mood over this, not over immigration reform, but the fact that he's acting unilaterally.
Peter, you talked today to an interesting group that I've been curious about for the last week or so, which is, like Susan Collins, those Senate Republicans who did vote for the immigration bill that the House refused to take up. What's the consensus amongst that group about what the best path forward is now, since the president's taken the action they warned him not to take?
Almost unanimity, Mark, in that from Marco Rubio, from John McCain, from Susan Collins, Lindsey Graham, the House has to move first. Nothing's going to happen in the Senate. The House has to pass something. Maybe it's just border security to begin with. Piecemeal approaches, small bills that will move over to the Senate, and they'll start to show progress, and they hope move towards a larger piece of legislation ultimately. But they think this ball's in the House's court, and John Boehner, they are trying to put pressure on John Boehner to do something in the short term.